Alright, luckily I just kind of took a peek at this, and the next quest from Menphelia, following the storyline, takes me back to Gridania. It's called Sylph-Management. Sylph. Sylph. Cutscene fade to black. Hopefully she talks so I don't have to.
Now, having set aside the formalities, we have a favor to ask of you. Urianger, have the documents arrived from the students of Baldessian?
If you remember, the Urianger is always has the white hood over his head and red goggles.
Aye, my lady. They arrived but recently.
He's always studying or doing reports or stuff like that. Pretty stoic dude.
We have conducted a study at the behest of the Order of the Twin Adder. Papalimo, Ida, a synopsis if you would.
Our task was to survey the behavior of the Sylphs, a beast tribe indigenous to the Twelveswood.
Oh, how to describe them. They look like gisselcreens, floating ones, that worship the primal Ramu.
Ahem. Though technically a beast tribe, Sylphs are blessed with a comparatively personable demeanor, conducive to peaceful communication.
Offering us an invaluable opportunity to learn what the beast tribes know of the primals.
While Ramu's existence is well documented, the Sylphs do not, or perhaps cannot, summon the primal any longer, insofar as can be ascertained. Until such time as we know, it would be unwise to assume that the threat posed by the primal has passed.
Which leaves Gridania with the added worry of not knowing what they should be worrying about.
In that regard, they are hardly alone. What we can say with absolute certainty is that Gridania has its hands full fending off Garuda, who, I need hardly remind you, is among the most savage and terrible of all known primals.
In short, it is essential that we approach the Sylphs in as diplomatic a manner as possible. Words and actions can be misconstrued. The only sure way to communicate our intentions is the echo. Winning the Sylph's favor may well bring us a step closer to mitigating the threat of the primals. Will you help us?
Nah.
I am
Jokes,
grateful.
Jokes.
Lovely. Well, as much as I'd like to help, I'm afraid I would be of little use to anyone in Gridania. A veritable babe in the woods. Ida and Papalimo, however, should be able to see the forest for the trees. Is that not so, Menphelia?
Indeed. You are willing?
Leave it to me.
Us, Ida, us!
Boom, bottom, boom. Okay, so I can use my return. Go to Gridania. Go to Gridania. And we run over to the Twin Adder place building. The Twin Adder building is one of the only buildings that is like super open face. Like there's no doors to get in. You just open air. Forsai Hilui, maybe? We know far too little of the Sylphs to lay any worthwhile plans. We must call upon the Scions once more if we are to... Ah, beg pardons. 'Tis a terrible habit of mine to think aloud. But tell me, what brings you to the Adder's Nest? We're turning in Sylph-Management here. I should have the proper number of thingy-mahoozits to buy a Chocobo license. Yay! Or Chocobo issuance. So that is done. I hand that to... Oh, that guy down there. Okay. So we're talking for... Versailles again. Cutscene fade to black. Well, if it isn't Private Valkyr reporting for duty, that's the zeal I like to see from an enterprising young serpent. Papalymo and Ida come up too. Good evening, Commander. Sorry to disappoint you, but other business brings us here today. You and Papalymo, always a pleasure to see the two of you. My men tell me you quest in the name of the Scions of late. Quite so, Commander. A little bird told us that the Twin Adder was in need of our adventuring prowess. Aye, your little bird sings true. No doubt you've heard that we're investigating the Sylphs, the curious beast tribe that calls the depths of the Twelves Wood home. These Sylphs are, for the most part, a peaceable bunch, much to the delight of the Elder Seedseer, who has no desire to see her people embroiled in yet another fruitless war. The Twin Adder is of the same mind, and 'tis precisely for this reason that the Sylphs' relation to the primal Ramu has raised a flag of warning amongst our ranks. Wow, là. Friendly as they may appear, beastmen will be beastmen. Should there be even a sliver of a chance that the summoning of the primal might disturb the balance between Gridania and the Sylphic tribes, it is a possibility we cannot ignore. Better to be safe than sorry, indeed. Do we strike at Ramu, or leave the Sylphs to their own ways? That is the question, yet I find myself lacking ample knowledge to arrive at an answer. Opinions abound within Gridania, but to listen only to one's own is among the greatest mistakes a commander can make. I would hear from the other side, the Sylphs themselves, and seek an impartial party to serve as my liaison. That is where you Scions come in. You nod. The Sylphs of Little Solace remain untempered, and have held many a productive dialogue with our people. I would hear their candid thoughts on their tempered brethren. That said, I urge you to exercise due caution. Sylphic tradition and etiquette bear little resemblance to our own. It would not do to have any cross-cultural faux pas get in the way of a productive parley. En route to Little Solace, you will come upon the Hawthorne Hut. Our officer stationed there can enlighten you as to how to win the Sylph's favor. May your expedition be a worthwhile one. A friendly palaver with the Sylphs. This should be a pleasant enough diversion. The Hawthorne Hut, was it? Why, I believe the ferry departing from West Shore Pier should take us straight there. A friendly palaver indeed. I hope this will be as straightforward as you say, Papalymo. It probably won't be, 'cause nothing ever is. But that's okay. Let's go turn in our Chocobo thingy. Want a bird issue, you say? Then I'll need to see your Serpent Chocobo issuance. Boom. Shakalaka. Cutscene fade to black. Doesn't really matter. Shows you handing the issuance to this man. He is dressed all in yellow, basically, but with like blackish, brownish, grayish leggings. And he has a Chocobo mask on. Yes, everything seems to be in order, says Singer. A moment, please. I'll be right back with your Chocobo. He gives you a bow. The Chocobo mask is very cute. He comes up to you with a Chocobo. It is not just a Chocobo. It has kind of like a head armor that covers like the beak and the top of the head. Chest armor to protect the Chocobo's chest breastplate kind of area. Like leg armor as well. And it looks like kind of wing armor also. And here he is. The fellow has been in high spirits the past few bells. He must have sensed that his master was coming. Now then, to make it official, you'll want to give your noble steed a name. Oh, crap. Please tell me I can end this video without doing that, because I haven't thought about it yet. The Chocobo quoos! I'm very happy. I think I've already named a Chocobo Sleipnir. The Valkyrie generally rode on Pegasi. Can I do like a Pegasi Sleipnir combination? Peganeer? Pegasus? Paegus. Does that sound like anything dumb? Pegasus? Sounds like it might be the plural for a pagan, but I think pagan is the plural for pagan. Pegasus. Pages. I can always rename it later, I think. I found better names for like all the other ones I've had, but Pegasus. Yeah, whatever. Woo! And it runs off. Talk to Singer again to get the whistle. I dare say he likes his name. Here's your very own Chocobo whistle. Simply blow into it, and your feathered friend will come bounding to your side. But do forgive him if he doesn't respond when summoned in crowded city areas or monster-infested lairs. Chocobos are stout-hearted creatures, but they have their limits. And lastly, I present you with your Chocobo rider's license, as is required by law. And that concludes all the formalities. I wish you and your Chocobo long years of filling companionship. Gotta click on the whistle and use it. And then I already have the number set up that I liked. I have H is my Chocobo summoning. We are gonna go over to. Gonna go back to the East Shroud. To do that, we go to the Lancers Guild. I don't think I'm 30 yet. No, not yet. Very, very close though. Apparently, we have to talk to Mitani, who is guarding the gate to the pier. Aye, the ferry docked at the base of this hill will carry you across the lake to the East Shroud. I've already done that. Once you're ashore, head due east, and you should find the Hawthorne Hut without much trouble. Done that too. Take the ferry skipper, Sweet Bloom Pier. And summon Pegasus for the first time. Riding my very own Chocobo. You're gonna hear the Chocobo music quite a bit. I only have 2 minutes left to do that, so I'm not going to do it. Otherwise, I am going to start doing those to... Gotta get points, man. Or gotta get that currency to buy stuff and rank up. When you rank up high enough, you can donate all this gear that I have that I'm not using or going to use to get more points to rank up, you know, just kind of keep going. Amalane is in the kind of 6-ish bedroom looking house that, or building that is like pretty much the only building at Hawthorne Hut. He looks like he's a serpent person. Indeed, I am Amalane of the Twin Adder, as I said. I understand you're here to learn of the Sylphs, yes? For all their whimsy, they are a wary lot, particularly since the Empire has come to the Shroud. Earn their trust, however, and they're as friendly as any folk. They have their quirks, but so do we all, no? Would you know more? You'd do well to speak with the master of this hut, Rolf. He's forgotten more about the Sylphs than I'll ever know. Sure. Reach level 30. I'll do this Rolf thingy first. Sylphic Studies. Sylphic Studies. Come to learn a thing or two about the Sylphs, have you? I'll tell you one thing. They're a peculiar folk. How peculiar, you ask? Well, let me just tell you. Beg pardon, friend. My memory's just not what it used to be. I've seen much and more in my adventuring days, and it's all a clutter in my noggin now. Though I've shared my stories with those around the hut before, you might have more luck with them. Isabel Hawthorne. The Sylphs? Yes, Father told me his stories plenty of times. What I've always found most captivating is how their concept of etiquette is almost completely alien to our own. you'd do best not to underestimate them on account of their childlike looks, lest your face end up a mess of glyphs, squiggles, and Jacoba scratches. Wasn't that funny? Monet, M-O-N-N-E, right outside, right next to the Aetheryte, looks like a wood whaler with a spear. The Sylphs, inveterate tricksters and troublemakers, that's what they are. One day they're drawing more wolf faces on our mask, the next they're sending our young sentries falling to the bottom of a ravine. Tell them to stop and they just laugh at you. Rolf claims they harbor no ill will, but I dare say such pranks are no laughing matter. And then Blazette. Also a female, kind of wearing more archery gear. Has a bow, archery gear. The quickest way to a quiver woman's heart might be through her stomach, but don't think of trying to foist your foodstuffs on a sylph. They sustain themselves simply by bathing in the sun, or so Rolf once told me. So none of that's very helpful. Can't give them food. They like to play tricks on us. Back to Rolf. Oh, of course. Hearing your stories, well, my stories, has brought the memories flooding back to me. I feel like dancing. Yes, nothing brings people together quite like a little toe tapping, he says as he gets up and starts doing a jig. A sylph told me long ago that dancing is a time-honored greeting among their kind. You do well to remember this. It just may help win the favor of our forest friends. Complete this quest. He's got further knowledge. Let's see. Oh, still here, eh? Great. There's one more thing you should know about the Sylphs. They don't take kindly to guests who show up empty-handed. To earn their trust, you do well to bring along, what was it again? My wife Rosa and I were just speaking of the matter not days ago. Forgive me, friend. Speak to Rosa at the comb. Her memory should prove more reliable than mine own. Okay. Jump on Jacoba. Comb, I believe, yeah, it's a beekeeper place. They got like several stacks of beehives. By several, I mean 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. It's like 20 something. Rosa Hawthorne. Another female. A peace offering for the Sylphs, or anyone else, I'd recommend a jar of honey, but I fear that wouldn't get you past their front doorstep, dear. No. Their tastes run more to the unusual. For are you perchance familiar with milk root? That's what we call the root of that most fiendish seedkin, the ochu. When chewed, it exudes a cloudy liquid that's said to induce curious visions in the imbiber. You'd not catch me dead trying the stuff, but the Sylphs seem to enjoy it to no end. I've not seen an ochu on the comb in quite some time, but I did encounter a suspicious clump of grass the other day. Were you to stimulate it somehow with some of this amber syrup, for example, you might be surprised at what comes out. Good luck. Jump on a Jacoba. We'll run exactly east, pretty much over to this curious tussock, and plop a little amber syrup. And an ochu appears, not your normal ochu, like the big one with the big circular face and the like the teeth, but it does like to spew like a poison cloud that is ticking away at me. But poison in this game, unless it starts to stack in some boss encounters and dungeons, usually not a big deal. I remember in Final Fantasy XI, poison was very dangerous, especially at low levels, because it could just continue forever. Especially if it was used as a TP move by a monster with high TP at the time. Ah, you're back. Was my wife able to direct you to a suitable offering? You hand him the milk root. Milk root? But of course! Those sylphs quaff that cloudy stuff as quick as I do a flagon of mead. The effect's just about the same as well. Any road, a gift of milk root will have the sylphs calling you friend and sister the moment they lay eyes on it. Now let me wrap that up for you. I'm starting to feel a bit woozy. Okay. So those 3 quests are done. I am going to return to Gridania. Well, okay, I'm going to stop this video here because I'm going to go do the Lancer quest and probably record that, but that's it for this one. See you soon.